since you guys have moved over here?
Giovanni McCoy?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, learning a new offense in the spring is difficult, right? When you're 2 years in a specific offense and you feel like you got all the answers, and then you got all new verbiage, all new players around you, a lot of things moving fast. But to see his development from spring to this fall was very similar to 2022, where he was in a quarterback competition at Idaho, same situation, was okay in spring, and then in fall camp you really started to see that confidence develop, and then you really got to see him start making some throws that I know personally that he's capable of making.
So you think confidence, obviously for every quarterback, but with him in particular, kind of plays a big part?
100%, right? I think really in any position, but especially at quarterback, when you know what you're doing, you have confidence. When you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a lot of confidence. And so in the spring, you didn't see the same confidence that he had when he had another offense mastered. But now that he's starting to master this offense, you really start to see that confidence grow.
You're starting to see some moments then when you can tell it's kind of clicking for
him?
him?
Yeah, 100%. When he's on time and he's getting that ball out quick, or when he's 1, 2, 3 and he's running, right? Those are the confident moments that I'm seeing from him for sure.
Giovanni mentioned that he's excited about the tailbacks in this offense. What do you see when you look at the group that's out there?
We're really deep, right? We have 6 guys on the roster, and I'd feel comfortable playing any of those guys. I think all of them have a specific skill set, but when you really look at kind of our top 2 guys, right? Jam Griffin and Anthony Hankerson, those 2 dudes are really special. They're all-purpose guys that can do everything we're asking them to do in the offense, run it. They're great in pass protection. They're really good catching the ball out of the backfield and lining them up, in the slot or outside at receiver. So I think those 2 guys' versatility will really be critical for us as we move forward this season for sure.
What have you seen from the 2 freshmen with Alla and Hatcher?
A lot of potential. Saladin is a very, very fast guy. He's probably the fastest guy in the room. He's had some explosive plays in the passing game, but make no mistake, he's a very physical runner. In the opportunities that he's had in live competition, he's done a good job breaking tackles. And then with Cornell, he's more of your old school back where he's going to slash it, he's going to get in your face, he's going to get it downhill, square up on guys, very physical, extremely smart. I think Cornell's done a really nice job of picking up the offense. He does some things naturally that I think are going to be special moving forward. But both those freshman kids are going to be really good players here with the Beaver program for sure.
Do you feel like it's at a point where you'd feel comfortable putting them out there on Saturdays if the season started this weekend?
If Jam and Hank weren't going, those guys were the guys first. But I think both players certainly I could feel comfortable with them in some situational football. Third down, not really, right? Those guys aren't quite there yet in pass protection, and I think that's very similar in a lot of places anywhere in the country. Freshman running backs are good running it, but they don't really have a great understanding of pass pro. So, they would not be in on third down if they had to play.
With Jam and Hank, can they play together, or is that just a rotation thing?
Sure. No, I mean, we have some stuff on our offense to get both those guys on the field. Yeah. So I definitely think that we'll have some packages, given the week and what we're seeing defensively. But there's certainly ways we can have both those guys on the field. And there's certainly guys that are, probably definitely somewhere in that top 11, right? So you want to try to play your best players at all times, and I could definitely see some scenarios where both those guys would be on the field at the same time.
What about Reichel? What kind of he's got a pounding running.
Yeah,
style.
Jake is a phenomenal football player in general. He's a 4-core special teams guy for us, but at running back, he's super physical. He's really smart. He understands pass protection. If Jam and Hank were down, there's no doubt whoever was in the game on first and second down, Jake Reichel will be in the game on third down. Because he understands exactly what we're doing in pass protection. And then again, his running style is different. And I think that's where his value will be in this group this year, is he's just different than everybody else, right? He's a bigger guy. He's 225 pounds, really runs behind his shoulder pads. And again, he's very, very intelligent. So he has a firm grasp of what we're doing offensively for sure.
Do you see him involving more of an H-back or fullback kind of a scene? Or just...
There's potential for some fullback type stuff. He's taken some reps doing that kind of stuff, and he's done really well with the reps that he's taken. But for now, he's really a tailback and a guy that I think could really do a good job getting those dirty yards for us. Short yardage, goal line, 4-minute situation like you saw today. He was the guy in there for a reason.
How do you think the running back unit as a whole has been kind of looking for you this fall camp, and where do you think the group can still kind of improve on with a couple weeks left?
Well, I think, to answer your first question, I really like the group. I think we are very deep. I think all the guys have specific skill sets that could help us on Saturdays. And in terms of just where they need to continue to grow is just continuing to master the playbook, right? Just understanding all the little small details. We talk about that a lot in our room. being focused and being a master of the details. And so I think throughout fall camp, we really want to see those guys continue to get better, really mastering those details.
What have you seen from the offensive line? I know that was kind of a question mark after spring. What have you seen their development here?
Man, you've seen a huge jump, I think, in that group. Coach Devan's doing a great job coaching those guys up. What I've really noticed from my end is just the physicality in the run game. I feel like in our run schemes, I have the confidence that we're going to get exactly what my guys need for them to make a read and get into that second and third level. So I think they're doing a really good job handling the line of scrimmage. I think you can see definitely a boost in their physicality. Obviously getting guys like Josh Gray back is huge. So again, I think that group has taken a leaps from the spring, and really excited to see them continue to gel.
Couple more questions.
Couldn't notice that Hank obviously wasn't on the field today. Any updates? Is he all right? Just a small tweet.
Yeah, he'll be okay. You know, we're just taking some precautionary stuff with him, making sure he can be healthy for August 31st.
Reichel and Everett, they take a lot of reps in practice.
Yeah.
Is it helpful to have a couple of guys to make it so that Jam and Hank don't have to carry?
That's
the load
what
so
we've
much in
doing.
practice?
That's what we're doing in practice. I think we've done a really good job monitoring their reps, trying to keep them, you know, anywhere from 15 to 18 reps in a practice is pretty good. And again, we have the depth to do it, and we need to see what some of these other guys can do. You know, Jam and Hank have played a lot of college football, right? Cornell Hatcher and Saladin Allah have not. And so we've done, I think, a pretty good job getting those guys extended reps to see what we got in those two players.
Who is the best pass blocker out of the group at this point?
That's a tough question. Probably Jam. Jam has been really, really good in pass protection. Really not just this fall, but in the spring. But he's taken that next step in not just understanding his responsibility, but being really physical at the point of attack on those blitz patterns. So I'd probably give the slight edge to Jam, but Hank and Jake Reichler right there behind him.
Thanks, Coach.